His first visit to Road America is still tapped to likely walk out of here with a gold. However, they often say the spoils the Dixie go to the Swift, and that's what Bernie Senior is hoping for, a brand new Swift, and this veteran runoffs campaigner who's finished his highest score is hoping to earn that first medal, and he'd love to make it a gold. But Calvin Fish, for these guys to recognize their dreams, they may have to fight through a couple of
guys who are waging a mano-a-mano battle that started last year.
Greg, you're absolutely right. Last year in the C Sports Racing category, we had a classic battle going on the racetrack. And ultimately, it was this man, Ben Beasley, who came out on top, claiming his 4th national championship. Now, what Ben has done this year, he's taken that Mazda Power, put it in the back of this Roll RT40, and is going to go for his 5th championship, but this time in Formula Atlantic. But the man who he competed wire-to-wire against last year was this man, Jacek Muka. He's going to be doing double duty here this weekend, not only competing in Formula Atlantic, but C Sports Racer as well.
It is time for the Valvoline Runoffs, SCCA's national championship battle, and the fastest of all the cars on the track, Formula Atlantic, are about to set sail. Hi, everybody, and welcome to a beautiful Mid-Ohio sports car course. Had some rain this morning, looking better today, this afternoon certainly, and we are ready to go racing to determine the Formula Atlantic Championship. Calvin Fish is joining me here in the booth, and is a man who knows an awful lot about this track. Cal?
Well, Greg, this is certainly a very challenging racetrack, not only for the drivers, but the setup as well. Turns 1 here and turns 11, very fast, almost wide open in a Toyota Atlantic car. And as you come down this straightaway here, we've got the chicane is a little bit different now, so it's very important to get late on the brakes there into turn 2. Onto the long back straightaway. As you come through the SSA, you need to be clean and tidy, and then the real critical corner is turn 9.
All right, thanks very much, Calvin. Appreciate it. And it's going to be an awfully interesting race. Certainly going to be a very fast one. Let's meet our pit reporter, Brian Till.
Well, guys, keep your eye on the number 4 car of Tony Kazmich. He's qualified 8th, but this guy has won the last 3 Formula Z-Tech Pro races at this racetrack. He also is the Formula Continental National Champion from the year 2000. He's got a handful of national event victories underneath him. Didn't qualify well, but the car has gotten better and better each session out. John Bizignano, what do you got?
Well, Brian, as you well know, this is one of the classes in the amateur championships where a young driver, a young lion, can make a name for himself that might actually lead to a professional career. He can take a win at this particular event to any pro team and say, listen, I am capable of driving in the pro leagues. Watch these young lions trying to come through the field for the front. It could be the start of a great career.
All right, thanks very much, gentlemen. And the field rolling off. Let's give you the starting lineup. And a gentleman who's come close a couple of times has found the pole position. Keith Lively is up front. Rennie Clayton, what a story, as we've talked about. A huge wreck early. That car, they've been chipping away at it. And Ben Beasley, frankly, Calvin, I think Ben may be a little surprised that he qualified that well in this very experimental car.
Well, he's done a great job making the transition over from C Sports Racer. He's won 4 championships there and has shown a lot of speed this weekend. Don't count him out for a gold medal.
Absolutely not. As we see them make their way around, Lively in the blue car, you see Clayton running absolute sticker tires. So they're on a little bit different strategy here. Oh, and we have a car that is not starting. Let's get down to Brian Till.
It's Tom Nastasi in his number 23 car. He qualified 7th. When they started the car up a little while ago to warm it up, it didn't sound quite right, and they actually had the side pods off, the body work. They did some work on the electrical stuff, but when they shut it down, it would not refire, and he sits on the grid with no power.
All right, thanks very much. And the gentleman you talked about on the false grid, Kazmich, the problem he was having earlier in the weekend was they had some serious ignition problems in that engine, and it was just had a frequent high speed and constant miss. But obviously, they've been trying to sort that out. And if they got it right, Kasmets will be an absolute rocket from the back. He is one of the fastest drivers in the country in Formula Atlantic. Green flag coming up. Don't go anywhere.
Drive a sports car like no other. The all-new Mazda RX-8. Bringing ultra-high performance from racetracks to your car. Formula Technology. Kumho.
So this Navy pilot guy says to me, have you noticed how much military technology becomes stuff we use every day? And I say, like what? Like the B-52 blender? The George Patton grill? The AK-47 bubble jet?
No, but you'll find out how military technology goes civilian on my new series.
Tactical to Practical with Hunter Ellis. Tuesday on the History Channel.
Tactical to practical. What, show titles have to rhyme now?
Don't worry, Gilbert's not in it.
Want a show car shine?
Oh, yeah.
Use Meguiar's Gold Class Car Wax.
Smooth as glass.
It's the most reflective car wax Meguiar's has ever made. And that's in over 100 years.
Get ready, world.
Not only does it give you an incredible shine, it's easy to use.
Looking good.
It's the best-selling premium car wax in America.
Thank you, Meguiar's.
Smart guys finish best. Meguiar's.
Top end of about one. Today's Speed Channel coverage of the 40th anniversary SCCA National Championship Runoffs is being brought to you by Valvoline. Valvoline, the #1 choice of top mechanics. Welcome back, everybody, and they have Nastasi started up. The question is, how healthy is it going to be when he gets on the track? He, too, running sticker tires. And, Calvin, these cars on this track, so many variables. They've got the ground effects downforce, the wings for balancing the car. It's just incredible. Tell us a little bit about these cars.
Well, they're such a well-balanced race car. Great braking ability, high downforce cars, sticky tires. I mean, one of the best cars that you ever want to drive around this particular racetrack. Open wheels, certainly, high wings, and about 250 horsepower. Probably going to see top speeds down the back straightaway, depending on the wing setup, about 150 miles an hour.
All right, we're also going to have some great onboard shots, courtesy of number 41, Stephen Williams. And under sponsor, he says Williams family. So we're going to be seeing some shots from him. Meanwhile, the field, there we go. Good shot. Look at that, right under the mirror, over that left front tire, as they are heading down now and onto that long back straight where they do the starts here at Mid-Ohio. Back of the pack just a little bit, so we hopefully will see some great traffic shots. And boy, the front 4 or 5 rows look good. A couple of them locking up.
Look at Lively hanging back.
Yeah, he was trying to snooker Clayton. We may get a wave off, Cal.
Yeah.
No start, and that was a great call by the starter.
Well, the problem what you have, your big pack at the front there, Greg, and then guys at the back of the field screaming down there, and they're going to be a big mismatch in speed. Brian Tell.
Well, they just got Nastasi's car restarted. They pulled the bodywork off the back of it in the engine compartment, and all the mechanic did was wiggle some wires around. Must be a loose connection. Well, it's refired now, and it may run out of pit lane. The question is, after it gets punished on this racetrack over the bumps and through the corners, how long will that loose connection stay connected?
Yeah, good point. As he goes out, he's fortunate because he will not go down a lap. He's going to be the better part of a lap back. But with the yellow, he's able to get out and maybe at least get to the back of the pack. And he had a pretty good qualifying effort in 7th.
Yeah, he's certainly running strong this weekend. He's on sticker tires. They're going to try and get some temperature in here. We've got pretty good conditions now. Obviously, the hurricane came through last night here, left some wet weather this morning, but nice track conditions, nice and cool. Should be ideal, really, for these type of race cars.
Let's check in one more time with John Bizignano.
Well, actually, Calvin and I got a ride around the track with an SCCA official just before the start of this race, and I could not find any wet pavement whatsoever. You got to be careful. On the grass, it's very slick. If you get a tire off there, you're going to rotate that outside tire. If you come back on, you could be an instant spin. So they've got to stay on the track, but the line on the track is perfectly dry, what I saw.
All right, and keep in mind, this lap will count as we are under essentially a full car's caution because of the wave off. The lap will count, and looking forward to getting this one underway. And obviously, our last couple of champions are not here. Mike Biancardi's not here. Larry Connor won 2 in a row, and Brian French are not here. This is as opened up as this battle has been for a long time.
And Keith Lively has certainly knocked on the door enough times. Finished 4th here last year. Runner-up finished Larry Connor here in 2001, so it's his time. But the man there, Renee Clayton, the young man in that patchwork quilt of a race car right now, having had a big crash in turn 9 earlier in the week. He's certainly a youngster looking to be hungry and get that first championship under his belt.
Obviously, the stewards asked the corner workers in the keyhole to slow the front down to let the field close up, and it worked. We are green. Lap 2 now underway.
Clayton to the lead immediately. Bit of a lazy start for Keith Lively. He's dropped positions very quickly in the early going here.
And maybe he was trying to lay back again, but they say if it goes green, you go, no matter. And boy, Clayton just jumped on it.
And Lively's already down to 3rd, maybe 4th by the time we get through the S's here. Here we see a great onboard shot here as we come down through turns 5 and 6 downhill. Going down a gear right now, probably staying the same gear once it dries out here and we get some tire temperature. Really difficult here. You get light up there over the brow in turn 8, and there he gets past on the outside.
That looked like Nastasi, too. Boy, if that's the case, what a great start Nastasi had from the back.
Zober around the outside as well as he went into turn 9 as well, I believe. So yeah. Lively did not get the start he was looking for. Dropped all the way back to 4th, I believe. And there's Dan Selznick. He's done some pro racing this year in the room store car, and he's got a great team behind him. Polestar with Jim Griffith looking after the car this weekend. They had Alex Barron in here last week doing some testing, so they have a good setup underneath him.
There's a good look at Keith Lively, and boy, he really wanted to be able to stay up front and get a run for the gold. He's been close. I think one of the stories of the race is the guy in 2nd right here. And there's Nastasi. I believe that's Nastasi. Yes, indeed. And Brian Till, you called it. That whatever it was they got to connect isn't connected anymore.
And he's not connected to the race car now. There we see Tom getting out, disconnecting the steering wheel. I'm not sure what part of the racetrack that is. Hopefully it won't cause full course yellow, and he's got it off in a safe spot. But there you see the man up front, the youngster, Rennie Clayton. They say he's fast and furious. He has a tendency to throw it off now and again, as he did on Monday, I believe it was. But he ran laps in the 1:18.2 range, and pole was a 1:19.3. So in practice, he's been a lot faster than the pole time of Keith Lively.
Well, keep in mind, this year was his first ever visit, as you see where Nastasi is, his first ever visit to Road America, and he crushed the field with just a stunning run. So he has got the gift, they say, of raw speed. You hone that a little bit with some experience in racecraft. They say he's going to be the real deal. I was going to say the guy in 2nd, I think is a great story. Ben Beasley, nobody can question Ben's ability. 4 CSR championships, and his running down Luca last year in the CSR class was just the stuff of legend. But this is very much a new program, a new effort, and one that is, compared to your standard Atlantic car, very much unproven, and he's flying.
He really is, up in 2nd spot. I made a mistake earlier calling it Toyota Atlantic, come from the Pro Series, of course. We have some of those cars in the field, but we have Mazda-powered cars as well. Beasley running in 2nd. We've got Luca, he's certainly running the Mazda car as well. So, variety of power plants, all pretty equal, it seems, when we look at him run down the straightaway. But there's Renee Clayton. He's got Arnie Loining power. He's made a lot of Formula 4 champions, now looking for an Atlantic champion here today.
And he's got a good one right there. And Tonis Kazman's in the pits as well.
Of all the rotten luck, damned to spend eternity pushing a boulder up a hill. Oh, it's enough to send a bloke mad. What? Hello? Oh, now I'm hearing voices.
Sisyphus, you've hit rock bottom. What you need is Red Bull, stimulation for body and mind. So, Sisyphus, feeling a little bowled up?
You bet. Suddenly eternity isn't long enough. Way. Red Bull gives you wings.
Oh, Sisyphus.
I moved to Earthlink because I only want the internet that's good for my kids.
Because I like being the guy you can always reach. Because an Earthlink address makes a good impression.
I moved to Earthlink high speed because my life moves fast.
Because access should come with choices.
Different people, different passions, different reasons for moving to Earthlink. Whether you choose dial-up, high-speed, or wireless, make the internet your internet. Call 1-800-747-6491. We're currently offering 6 months of dial-up service featuring Earthlink Accelerator at half price.
I moved to Earthlink because they hate internet pollution as much as I do.
I moved because they block pop-ups. And I'll take all the help I can get.
Because Spam Blocker keeps my inbox neat and clean.
Speed, security, control. Your reasons are your own. Call, go online, or visit these retailers and get 6 months of dial-up service featuring Earthlink Accelerator at half price. Move to Earthlink. It revolves around you.
Rennie Clayton is the perfect example of the cooperation between SCCA teams to make everyone as fast as possible here at Mid-Ohio. Rennie, a couple days ago, only one corner on this car. What's happened since then?
We've got parts from about 4 or 5 different teams on this car, and essentially we've pretty much worked for about 48 hours straight to get it back together.
I guess there's some 300 man-hours in the last 30 hours, and the car looks rough. What about your confidence in it?
I've got all the confidence in the team. Yesterday we got out real quick, but I've got all the confidence in the team that we're going to be able to get out there and have a good car underneath me.
You got to give him a good race after that effort.
I'm going to give it my best shot.
His best shot is a very good shot, but I'll tell you what, the look of that car is not your average pretty race car.
It really isn't. Apparently the scene of that wreck earlier in the week was like an explosion. It was like an aircraft had landed down there and had a big one, and looks like the old Benetton colours when Michael Schumacher won some races for Benetton F1 team many years ago. But let's go down to the pits with Biz.
Car number 4, Tony Kazmits, who qualified 8th, only circulated around the track twice, and there was an electrical problem. They took the back end of the car off the engine cover, and they reconnected 2 different wires that were just drifting around. So that was a very disappointing start for Tony, but right now the misfire that he came in with is gone. Hopefully they'll have him out of here in a few seconds.
Well, Tonus is really quick. He's a Formula Continental champion here. He won back in the year 2000. There's a car start, number 2.
Richard Zorber.
He made that move earlier in the race around the outside on the first lap in turn 9, but his day looks like it's done. But
signal right there for the driver, or the worker. His driver's fine, but he needs to be towed in, so it's a simple matter. Doesn't have to get record in or anything like that.
I thought Kazmits would really be a factor, certainly overnight with the rain. He's dynamite in the wet, so he's got Uwe Olsen, who's engineering that car and preparing it for him, so that's a real surprise to see it in pit lane, and a big disappointment to that team who have won in many championships over the years.
They just have not been able to sort through that electrical problem at all. But that doesn't mean we don't have some awesome battling going on out there. Going back in the pack a little bit, that's Tom Dooley in 15th. And he has got some serious company behind him in the form of Carl Antilla and Stephen Ott, 17 and 69 respectively. 08 is John Dole as well. These guys really scrapping.
Well, Stephen Ott is in fact running that new Van Diemen, that Formula Sports car, which can be changed between a couple of different categories. But Tom Dooley used to run the Antigua Sportswear Company. I'm not sure if he's still involved with that, but he resides out in Arizona. I think he's from Scottsdale, and gentleman racer, but does a great job, really has a passion for motorsports.
Right here's John Dole out of Huntington, New York. Actually a late entry to the runoffs, but he had a win in his Northeastern Division Championship chase, and he's going after him right now.
And there you see, you really have to carry a lot of speed. So your car off to the left there as they went through turn 4 there, so he got a little wide, and John Dole currently 14th, dropped back a little bit from his starting position, but then you see that car of David Vandenberg, I think it is, and what a story he is. That car is definitely different. You see the roll cage over the top. We did a story on him a couple of years ago, and that's a great battle for 12. He just drives the wheels off that thing.
Oh, he does. It is ancient. That's an old Rolf RT4, which is just one of the very first of the ground effects Atlantic chassis, and the guy that he's going after is the number 41, our camera car, Stephen Williams. But Vandenberg, he said, I'm used to sedans. When I decided to go open wheel racing, he said, I put that roll cage on there just to make me feel comfortable. And he goes, I do, but he just drives that thing deep in, aggressive on the throttle, really goes after it. The problem is that right now you got the number 16 of Rennie Clayton, and you may have a little bit of a wing loosening up on the back of that car. We'll be following that. Here's your top 5.
On the job site, I have to take on all the tough jobs and get them done right. So I use more than a tool. I use the RotoZip spiral saw system. cuts plywood, cuts drywall, cuts countertops, tile, almost anything with quick, clean cuts every time. And with the all-new features, the original RotoZip just got tougher. RotoZip, tough enough to tackle any job.
So this Navy pilot guy says to me, have you noticed how much military technology becomes stuff we use every day? And I say, like what? Like the B-52 blender? The George Patton grill? The AK-47 bubble jet?
No, but you'll find out how military technology goes civilian on my new series.
Tactical to Practical with Hunter Ellis. Tuesday on the History Channel.
Tactical to practical. What? Show titles have to rhyme now?
Don't worry, Gilbert's not in it.
Denny's Meat Lover's Breakfast has it all. Sizzling bacon, savory link sausage, and a slice of honey ham. Served up with eggs, hash browns, and fluffy buttermilk pancakes. All for just $4.99. So give it a try. Denny's, a good place to sit and eat.
How to speak Australian. Devotion. Beer. Foster's Australian for beer.
1993, Prost, Senna. Then they were champions. Today they are legends. Formula One decade. The 93 Belgian Grand Prix. Tonight, 10 p.m. Eastern, exclusively on Speed.
This year we celebrate the 40th anniversary of SCCA's national championships, the Valvoline Runoffs, and they are underway at Mid-Ohio, the beautiful sports car course, the fastest of all classes. Around this undulating circuit is Formula Atlantic, and the championship chase is on. And here's the guy who's leading. He was picked to win it. People feel that would be the case. After a huge record testing, it was sort of suspect, but boy, they've got that car dialed right back in, and he's opening up the margin by half a second a lap. Anyway, Cal.
But look at that rear wing there, Greg. You can see it there, and it's a little lower on the left side as we look at it head on, and you know, I'm not sure whether that's from the earlier crash in the week or whether he has a problem there.
All right, there's number 55, once again, Tom Dooley, and he has dropped back a spot, actually a couple of spots, as he now sits back in the order. And you've got John Dole, Bernie Saunier as well in this mix, and it is a great scrap. And coming up to join them, that white car with the orange and blue trim is Bernie Saunier.
Well, he's always fast here. He's just missed out on the podium for 2 years, 2000, 2001. He had a fourth-place finish and didn't really qualify where we expected him back in 17th, but he's in the thick of the battle right now.
Ooh, and Dole, John Dole moving in out of the slipstream, trying to get by Dooley, and Dooley covers.
He's got a bit more straightaway speed. I'm not sure if he's running a little less downforce or whether his motor's just a little stronger there on the top end, but he takes the wider line through there, and now Dole goes to the outside. Great move.
That was beautiful, and that's going to end clean, and he picks the spot up. So Dole now moves into 13th. And Dooley being forced online just a little bit. Saunier closed up quite a bit.
He has, and through this corner they're going to be using third gear typically. 5-speed box in these cars, and then you see Saunier slip into the inside. I'm not sure Dooley knew he was there. You don't expect to move on the right there as you set up for turn 11, and this is almost flat out in one of these Atlantic cars. A little more difficult than turn 1, but the top speed through there is almost the same.
Bend left onto the main pit straight here. And Saunier moves over. Now you'll notice every once in a while it looks like maybe a little smoke coming off the cars. Actually, there's a low spot on that front straight. With all the rain we had, we got a little bit of water that just continues to just puddle there. No big deal. Here's our battle for third. That's Keith Lively, the blue car on the right, and Dan Selznick, who's having a superb race here. No, that's a pass. That's Lively, got by Beasley. I thought we were looking at the battle for third, and it's in fact second and third. So Lively has in fact come alive here. Here it is.
Wow, did he step in deep? Well, he was already around it. He'd already passed him, actually. I mean, Lively was in front at that point, and of course, earlier in the going, he was coming from a fourth place after running through turn 1. So he's making a move through the pack. Beasley tried to get him back, but Lively shut the door there. It was pretty close quarters there for a moment. Nearly turned each other around.
They had wheels interlocked. The left front of Beasley's car inside the two rights. That'll spook you a little bit. Tonis Kazmits, they have him back out. Now he's way, way down the order. But it'll be interesting to see if that car is healthy. This is at least an opportunity for Tonis to throw in some quick laps. Meanwhile, here comes Lively, and he's got to be thinking, not again. I'm second, and there's a guy out front that I'm really not able to run with. There's the problem for Tonis. Still does not have full power in that car.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was a power issue or whether he just respected the leaders there coming through, but either way, he didn't have it at the end of the straightaway, and it'll be a big disappointment for this young man. He is super fast. He's been running in the Ford 2000 series again this year, winning races as normal, and there we see the leader. So Clayton going over the top of the crest of the hill there in turn 9, coming up to that fast left-hander, almost wide open.
We hop on board with Stephen Williams. Clayton, the fastest lap of the race by almost a second.
Drive a sports car like no other. The all-new Mazda RX-8.
Why do I get accessories at Pep Boys? Check this out. I put in a big bore stainless exhaust, aluminum wing, full body kit, carbon fiber hood, APC Euro tails, APC LED mirrors, nitrous express. They have everything to hook up my ride.
We have thousands of the latest accessories.
Available online or at more than 600 locations nationwide.
And we install everything we sell.
Pep Boys, we're car people.
The Simpsons invade England, and the mother country will never be the same.
It feels so weird flipping people off with my right hand. Ooh, I'm gonna be sore tomorrow.
The Simpsons, all new, part of a full hour this week on Fox.
Drivers in the SCCA will go through almost anything to make it through the runoffs. And Keith Lively, even though you look kind of relaxed with your leg up right now, I know you went through a lot to get here.
Well, it was quite an effort to get here. Actually, about 6 weeks ago, we had a crash in the morning warm-up at Laguna Seca, and I broke my left leg, which created two problems. One was the physical impairment, but also I didn't have enough starts to qualify for the runoffs. So we had to change our plans, come back early, run in the national race here at Mid-Ohio 4 weeks after the break, just so we could get into the big show.
Man, and this racetrack is a physical racetrack, and best of luck to you. I would say what they say in the movie business, which is break a leg, but it's probably not the thing to say to him right now.
I've wanted to do that to Brian Till for a long time.
So you're the guy that's throwing money at Keith to make that moment happen.
Speaking of throwing things, I think Brian Till has thrown a few steering wheels around this place at times, but that's another story.
That's another story, but someday a feature on that would be brilliant. Meanwhile, Keith Lively, and if you remember a couple of years ago, Larry Connor was on his way to a win in the Atlantic in this race, and a wheel started to come off the locating pegs, and Lively was the guy was coming after him in a huge hurry, and he wants it bad right now. But the guy who's up front is this gentleman, Rennie Clayton, and Brian Till is over there now.
Well, I'm here with Stan Clayton and Dave Rich. Dave, you're the crew chief. I know you guys worked all weekend long to get this car back together, but they're talking about the rear wing, and they're seeing something amiss there. Has he said anything to you?
No, he hasn't said anything yet, Brian. Yeah, we had a huge off in practice earlier this week. Really tore the car bad. We worked all week long on it, trying to put it back together again. A lot of long hours. We think that the wing will hold together. It's a bunch of pieces that we borrowed from a bunch of different teams trying to put this car together, and hopefully it'll hold and last the race.
Man, that's that's an important piece, Calvin, as you're very well aware. These cars are so aerodynamic, you lose that rear wing, especially at the wrong place, right in the middle of the corner. The downforce goes away, and so does all your grip. That's a big gamble, but obviously doing a good job with that car right now.
I tell you, Brian, we've got 9 more laps to go. I'm not sure that thing is going to hang on there. We saw it happen earlier today in the C Sports Racer race. The leader there, Muka, lost his rear wing with a lap to go, and similar thing could happen here and cost him a championship. It's definitely dropping down further on the left side of the car, and it's really starting to wobble around, Greg.
And one of the bigger issues, too, is Rennie Clayton at his last lap, a 1:21.7. Lively just turned the fastest lap of the race at a 1:20.4. We're on board with Stephen Williams, and Williams had the proverbial moment here just a couple of moments ago. Check this one out.
Whoa, that's a big one. We talked about the cars getting lively there on the opening lap with cold tires. He lost it there when his tire temp was there. I think he was a little offline, maybe going through some lap traffic or someone coming around him. But either way, and then a little over exuberant getting it back on. Lucky he didn't get in someone's way.
Watch it from the onboard.
Let's see his line here. Definitely gets light. Coming there into 7. He's too wide to the right. And then as he starts to transition back to the right-hand side there for turn 8, he loops it around and got lucky to get away with it.
Now, if we keep it rolling, let's see, because there's a moment right here. Look at the car. Boom.
Stalls it. Hopefully he got it refired and he's back underway.
He did. So he is able to continue right now, but yeesh, that was very, very close. Back on board here as he's working his way. They call this Thunder Valley. And then here's the very quick left-hander, leads you up into, I think, one of the trickiest corners of motorsports, the carousel. Clayton leads, but Lively is coming on.
So this Navy pilot guy says to me, have you noticed how much military technology becomes stuff we use every day? And I say, like what? Like the B-52 blender? The George Patton grill? The AK-47 bubble jet?
No, but you'll find out how military technology goes civilian on my new series.
Tactical to Practical with Hunter Ellis, Tuesday on the History Channel.
Tactical to Practical? What, show titles have to rhyme now?
Don't worry, Gilbert's not in it.
Speed Channel presents the All-American Thanksgiving Marathon. 2 days of Hemis, Hogs, Hot Rods, and Honeys. Thursday, American Muscle Car. Friday, Michelle Smith and American Thunder. Begins next Thursday, 10 Eastern, only on Speed.
The entertainment and refreshment just keeps on coming, and coming, and coming. Because now when you order Showtime Unlimited, you'll get a year's supply of Pepsi free. So help yourself to the best in premium television anytime and the joy of Pepsi for 12 refreshing months. Oh, and if you order now, you'll have a chance to win a ski vacation to a top-ranked North American resort. But this deal won't last forever, so order today.
Your dad got some serious hops.
Got your game face on? Watch Kevin Garnett and all your favorite players with NBA League Pass from DirecTV.
We are back, and the battle is well and truly afoot. There's Rennie Clayton, the leader. Look at that rear wing. It is canted over very, very badly. And the margin that was some 5 seconds not long ago is collapsing like the wing because Keith Lively is throwing in some brutally fast laps. He has the fastest lap of the race at a 1:20.3, and Clayton's last lap a 1:23. There's Clayton, and watch, Lively is the blue car, and he has made the pass on the lap traffic, and he is coming after him big time. And Brian Till, you were talking a little bit earlier about Rennie Clayton's situation with the wing. Lively's aware of it, and he has got it ramped up.
Well, Kevin Heath is the crew chief for Keith Lively. Not the start that you guys wanted, I know, but he seems to be clawing his way back.
Well, we had to rebuild the car last night. Keith had a massive shunt yesterday, and in the beginning, I think he was a little unsure of the car. Seemed to be getting into it. The tires are getting warm, and so it's going to get better from here onwards.
I'm sure that you guys have noticed Rennie Clayton's rear wing seems to be collapsing. Are you passing that information along to Keith?
Absolutely. You know, duct tape doesn't hold everything.
Well, they're going to use every advantage they can. One of those advantages, guys, down here is spelled Motorola.
Well, Kevin Heath, you notice the accent there. He actually used to work on a guy called Wayne Taylor, who's won sports car championships, very popular here in the States. He used to be his mechanic. But for Keith Lively, if he does get on the tail of Renee Clayton, he needs to make it stick early. Because remember, a couple of years ago, we talked about it. We had Larry Connor, his car, ailing in the final moments, and Keith Lively didn't pounce. He was really catching him on the final lap. But I think if he gets close, even with 2 or 3 laps to go, if there's an opening, he needs to go for it.
I thought he sounded a bit South African.
Yeah, he's not from around here, Greg.
No, not from these parts. I'll tell you, Clayton has upped the ante a little bit, though. He just turned a lap on a 120.9. Still not as fast as Lively's been lapping, but Clayton has upped it a little bit. He may have just eased off trying to keep that wing intact a little bit, but he's hurting.
Yeah, but the fact he's now running back under the 21 barrier there is really an indication that he does still have a decent race car. I mean, that wing at that angle is still going to develop downforce. Obviously, if it falls off and he loses the rear element, that's going to be a big factor. But let's see what happens here. There's Williams off the road again.
Camera car, and he's pulled off. It looks like he's parking. Here's what happened.
Turn 1, gets out wide, hits the curb, and goes airborne, goes sailing. Whoa, look at that! Like a dune buggy.
Well, that will damage the underside of these very sensitive cars. And crosses the chicane that's not used anymore. It just stops it. But he gave us some great looks while he was running.
He did. I think we saw Dario Franchitti do that here a couple of years ago in the Champ Car race, and looks pretty smooth.
That kind of air, though.
No, I don't think he did. That was pretty impressive. That was about 45 degrees there.
All right, less than 5 laps to go in this one, so we're closing in on it. That's been a busy corner worker. Clayton's last lap, again a 120.9, and Lively Lively just now set fastest lap of the race at a 120.310.
A 3.5 second lead right now, and we've got 5 laps to go. So at this pace, he's picking up about half a second a lap. It's going to be really tight as we get down to the final laps.
Well, you have to admit, in this scenario with the car coming apart, fearlessness is what's up.
What do you think? It's perfect. That's exactly what I want.
What?
Except bigger.
What do you mean bigger?
Something really pops the eye. Maybe rubies alternating with the sapphires. More stones. Pave diamonds all the way around.
Life's little expenses. Another good reason to keep your car around. That's why at 75,000 miles, switch to Valvoline's Max Life. Its added ingredients help prevent wear on critical parts.
Hey, this is nothing, guys. For the honeymoon? Oh.
At 75,000, time to switch to Max Life.
They seem just like us.
Have you tried not being a mutant?
But they're very different.
Hang on!
This Tuesday.
Drop the knives.
I can't. On the biggest DVD of the year.
Oh, yeah.
She's good.
You have no idea.
What exactly are you, Professor Oven? Art. X2 on DVD this Tuesday.
Where does reality end and pure vision begin? A Pioneer plasma display can deliver more than 1 billion colors, taking high-definition television to a whole new level. Pure vision. Only from Pioneer.
How to speak Australian. Conservationist. Beer. Foster's Australian for beer.
1993, Prost, Senna. Then they were champions. Today they are legends. Formula One decade. The 93 Belgian Grand Prix. Tonight, 10 p.m. Eastern, exclusively on Speed.
The SCCA is always looking for ways to get their members more involved with racing. One of the best ways to do that is to save money, make things more cost effective. And so they got together when they were looking for an entry into the Formula Car class. They got together with Van Diemen and came up with what they call Formula SCCA. A lot of the cost savings in this car come from the suppliers that supply the parts for it. Hoosier Tire has come up with a tire that competitors can run for 3 weekends in a row, and that saves immensely on tire bills. Mazda has produced an engine very unstressed that produces a very reliable 170 horsepower, capable of producing speeds close to 150 miles an hour. Right now it runs in the Formula Atlantic class, but once there are enough out there, it'll run in a class of its own, Formula SCCA. For $27,500, you can have one of these. The nice thing about it is you can run it as an Atlantic car one day, put the optional body panels on, and run it as a C Sports racer the next.
And that is something that SCCA and SCCA Enterprises have been very good at, and there is Steve Ott. So it's not just a concept. It has been applied, and it is a real-world application, and he's going pretty good.
He really is. And Van Diemen, of course, been so successful in the junior formula over the years. I ran their cars for a number of years back in the early 80s and Ford 2000. And here you see, I think he's got a faster car coming up behind him, gives him the point by. But what value to be able to run that sort of car for under $30,000? That's amazing.
Oh, it's phenomenal, and have options as well as to what class you're going to run. Brian?
Well, the other thing that you really need to keep in mind, too, is, you know, the car is not that competitive right now in Formula Atlantic. But the thing you got to keep note of is once there are enough of these cars out there, they will run in their own class, Formula SCCA. So what you're seeing, just the fact that it can compete as well as it is right now, is pretty impressive. And when they get a bunch of them out there, the racing, man, it should be great. And like you said, Calvin, for under 30 grand, hey, sign me up.
Yeah, really, I'll take one too.
It's the battle for sixth.
As Jacek, I mean, he came so close to a gold medal earlier today in C Sports race, right down the final corner, but he's having a good run here in sixth position in a good battle.
That's number 34 of Tony Lanuski.
And they let you handle that.
I heard the pause. I figured, he's going to make me fall on the sword. But they come in here, and this is a great scrap, as you said, for the sixth spot. And getting back to what Brian was saying about that SCCA Enterprises and the Formula SCCA, SCCA had this idea once before. It was called Spec Racer. And they ended up with 50-car fields and almost 1,000 of them being running around the country.
The scary part is develop the talents of Dorsey Schrader, and we don't need another Dorsey around.
Well, and look where it took him. Oh, pretty well, actually. Rennie Clayton is coming up just about a little over 2 laps to go, and he's still out front.
So this Navy pilot guy says to me, have you noticed how much military technology becomes stuff we use every day? And I say, like what? Like the B-52 blender? The George Patton grill? The AK-47 bubble jet?
No, but you'll find out how military technology goes civilian on my new series.
Tactical to Practical with Hunter Ellis, Tuesday on the History Channel.
Tactical to practical? What, show titles have to rhyme now?
Don't worry, Gilbert's not in it.
What Petty, Kinzer, DeFerrin, Coulthard, Gordon, Montoya, Earnhardt, and Carmichael have in common is that they all star in Wind Tunnel, The Interviews. We'll look back at a great season debuting at 9 o'clock Eastern Time on Monday night. Be there.
What do you want from primetime TV? I watch shows that inspire me. I want real-life heroes. Real news and advice. I want to see miracles. Know how to take care of my kids. I want shows that make me feel good, feel hope. I want the Health Network. Don't you?
Hello, I'm Chris Isaak.
And I'm Kenny Dale Johnson from the Showtime original series, The Chris Isaak Show. DirecTV offers great choices for what you want to watch, like Showtime Unlimited. Enjoy breakthrough original series and movies, knockout championship boxing, plus Hollywood hits no one else has.
The best variety on TV. Showtime.
Part of Showtime Unlimited. Add it for $12 or less per month. Call 1-800-DIRECTV to order now.
Welcome back to Mid-Ohio. The Formula Atlantic National Championship chase is winding down, but Rennie Clayton is winding it up. And what I was getting to a little bit earlier is sometimes when you got a wounded car, you want a guy with experience who can nurse it along. But in this situation, you want a guy with car control who's fearless, because you've literally right now just got to throw that thing around.
Wing,
oh, it is.
Look at that wing. That is definitely getting worse as these laps wind down here, and he gets a little wide there, going through the fast right-hander at the end of the straightaway. That's a pretty fast corner. He's dirt tracking it a little bit there, up over the crest of the hill. He just needs to keep it clean, because Lively is coming. He seems to have about half a second typically per lap on Renee here, and there you see he's running a little wider line. That gets you in a better track position for the entry for 9. Oh, and he spins it!
There you go, boom! Oh, and he was going after him, though. It's gone away once again for Keith Lively. Look at that. He is angry and upset, but there's no question he was pushing. He knew he had to up the ante a little bit more, and it just was too much.
He came in there, Greg. The line looked perfect, and then he must have just gone the power a little too early, and maybe the track is still damp there offline, and just turned it around, and that's an unforgiving corner there. You're going to hit the tires.
Especially when you hook across like that. Now watch it again here, Calvin.
See the car still stationary. Here comes the replay. Down into 9. Downshift is done. Back on the power, and it starts to get wide. He gets off that concrete patch, and then he's on the power and just out wide there. Little greasy still. Turns it around. Big damage to the rear end of that race car. But most importantly for Keith Lively, his hopes are over for a gold medal this year.
So all the concern about the leader's wing, and it was the sight of that leader's wing that maybe pushed Lively just a little bit too far.
Yeah, I mean, he was getting anxious. He could see that he was pulling that gap in on Renee Clayton, and his leg looks healthy now. He hopped over those tires okay, but maybe just the adrenaline is flowing. He realized he was on the verge of a national championship.
Well, I almost wonder, you were talking about the line that he ran to give himself a little bit more speed in as we watched Clayton come through. If maybe he wasn't going through there, maybe just a smidge quicker than he ever had, and just misjudged, like you said, getting on the throttle.
Well, we're saying these track conditions are perfect, but the fact of the matter is we had a heavy rain last night. The track is still what we call a little green. It doesn't have a lot of rubber down, and when you start to push on an area of the racetrack you haven't been before, you can sometimes get caught up. He was committed, he was going for it, and that's what it's all about. There's no tomorrow here at the Runoffs, and he'll walk away from here disappointed, but he gave all he had.
And Clayton now on his last lap. He's got to have that just hang on one more time. You guys realize they blew it. We're going 21 laps in this. And Clayton through the keyhole. And he's...
We're not sure. I see a checkered flag. I'm not sure if they missed the leader
I
or
think
whether
they missed him, because our monitor also said 20 when he came by. So, and it is the second place. Dan Selznick came up, and on the last
got around
lap,
Beasley.
yeah.
Something happened there to Beasley, because he had a nice gap over Dan, but still Beasley walks away from the Runoffs with another medal in his pocket. He was looking for a gold. He takes the bronze, but what a performance by Dan Selznick. That's something else. Coming through, that Polestar team did the work for him, put a good car underneath him, and as I mentioned earlier, Alex Barron did some testing and gave him the setup, and Dan made it happen today. That's a tremendous performance by Dan.
Yeah, one lead change in the race, obviously. 66 Lively was there for a moment, and then Clayton took it, and that was it. But the margin of victory officially was 22.1 seconds for Clayton, but that wasn't the real story up until the start of that last lap. That was coming down, was at about a second, and Lively was coming after him. But Clayton, look at that, the exuberance. And Calvin, I mean, you've spent a lot of time in pro racing situations and behind the wheel. You've won here on the year that you won the Pro Atlantic Championship, but to have a huge shunt early and then come back and win, that's got to be a tremendous feeling, not just for you, but that means the crew was so involved, more so maybe than ever.
Well, that's what it's all about at the Runoffs. I mean, these are not professional race teams. Typically, you're really having your friends, family sometimes, and certainly race teams as well, trying to pick up the pieces, put it all back together. He didn't show the speed again that he had last weekend in testing, but he had enough to put it on the front row, and then just a tremendous performance. He got the jump at the start, took off, then he had to deal with the rear wing. I'm sure he was feeling that in the race car. He didn't have the same balance in the car that he had in the early laps, but just a tremendous performance by this young man, and maybe we'll see him in the pro racing ranks. He certainly has the speeds.
Let's check in with John Bizignano.
Well, right now we have some very happy crew people down here with the winner of this race. We talked to you earlier. It was worth the work.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we worked really hard. You know, it was a lot of long nights. We were up till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning and back up at 6 o'clock. But I wouldn't trade any of that for this moment right now.
Well, David Rich, congratulations. Your crew has been doing a fantastic job. Hundreds of hours in on the car.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I mean, we were bumming parts off other teams and making stuff. And I mean, you know, there was times we didn't think we were going to be able to do it. Other people didn't think we were going to be able to do it. But we persevered, and we stuck by our guns, and we pulled it off.
Stan Clayton, your feelings right now?
Well, I'm just ecstatic. This is exactly what we set out to do after we got third place last year. I know Rennie wants to move on to a better formula, perhaps in Europe, and this is what he needed as a crowning touch to launch his career from here. And we're just ecstatic.
Congratulations, Brian Till.
Well, Sid Crane is the crew chief for Dan Selznick, and I know that they worked hard all weekend long, and you had to like what you saw taking place in front of you.
Yeah, Dan did a great job. Actually, the last 2 weeks, he's worked really hard. He's worked hard all year. He's only been driving for 5 years now, and so he really put it all together this year and had a great finish, drove a real consistent race today.
And the rear wing of Rennie Clayton, I know you guys had to be looking at it really close, especially after Lively went away.
Yeah, we just didn't have enough time. Kept hoping for it to loosen up a little bit more, but maybe next year.
Still a great result for these guys, and for Dan Selznick, I know he's happy. Certainly Sid Crane and the rest of this crew is.
Well, and Brian, he for only driving 5 years to be not only racing Atlantic in the runoff, but to have won his division in Southern Pacific with a couple of wins. Wow, what a great drive he put in here, no question. There is Rennie Clayton. We'll be back to talk to him when we come back.
Dear Santa, thank you for my new Honda CRF 50F. Now, when my family goes out riding, I can go too. Last weekend, I even met Ricky Carmichael. It was cool. My dad says that riding can teach me lots of things, like responsibility and how to be a good sport.
This holiday season, start your kids out right with a 4-stroke CRF from Honda, available now at your local dealer.
I never knew learning could be this much fun.
On the job site, I have to take on all the tough jobs and get them done right. So I use more than a tool. I use the RotoZip spiral saw system. Cuts plywood, cuts drywall, cuts countertops, tile, almost anything, with quick, clean cuts every time. And with the all-new features, the original RotoZip just got tougher. RotoZip, tough enough to tackle any job.
So this Navy pilot guy says to me, have you noticed how much military technology becomes stuff we use every day? And I say, like what? Like the B-52 blender? The George Patton grill? The AK-47 bubble jet?
No, but you'll find out how military technology goes civilian on my new series.
Tactical to Practical with Hunter Ellis, Tuesday on the History Channel.
Tactical to practical. What, show titles have to rhyme now?
Don't worry, Gilbert's not in it.
The world's greatest driver in the world's toughest races against the world's most ruthless villains. Speed Racer, now on Speed Channel.
Here comes Speed Racer. He's a demon on wheels. He's a demon and he's on.
Don't miss Speed Racer, exclusively on Speed Channel. Brought to you in part by Need for Speed Underground. Own the night.
Today's Speed Channel coverage of the 40th anniversary of SCCA's National Championship Runoffs is being brought to you by Valvoline. Valvoline, the #1 choice of top mechanics. It was an interesting race, and here is your top 5. Clayton, Selznick, Beasley. What a remarkable story for the bronze. Wilcox and Jacek Muka in the top 5. Well, we said it was interesting, and Biz is going to find out just how much.
Well, I'll tell you, they came so close to disaster here. This wing only had a couple laps left in it. You can see the rest of the body work up here also with some very loose seams here. Look down here. My gosh, all that downforce coming through this hole. That had to be a heck of a situation for you, Rennie. Congratulations on a championship. I told you you had to perform after all that work, and you did it.
Absolutely, John, and I really have to thank everybody.
Here comes Dad with the medal.
All right. We've got parts from about 4 different Atlantic teams on this car, and it has literally just been a complete overnight, week-long thrash without much sleep.
What about the drive itself?
I was just trying to push as hard as I could in the first half of the race. I felt the wing going down kind of midway through, and then the front tires started going away, so I was just kind of trying to nurse it from there. And I saw Keith Lively coming up. He was a lot quicker, so I knew it was going to be a fight right towards the end until I saw him spin off behind me.
Okay, you're looking in that rearview mirror. You see the wing getting worse and worse. You're going into corners at 130 miles an hour. What's in your head when you're doing that?
Turn the wheel and hope it stays on.
Congratulations on one of the best victories, certainly of your career.
Thank you very much, sir.
Absolutely no question. Look at the relief. just that big sigh. I think he realized that he was very, very fortunate that he had one dedicated crew behind him and that car held together. But there is no question, Calvin, this kid can drive.
Absolutely. Tremendous performance. A lot of pressure on this young man to be leading a national championship with a wounded car, not to make a mistake with a man coming on fast. You want to push the pedal a little bit louder, but he certainly had a bit of a gap there. Who knows whether Keith Lively would have caught him, but it would certainly been tight if Keith hadn't had the crash.
Absolutely. Keith, by the way, we'll show you full field results in just a little bit. He ended up very unfortunate and untelling 19th, but he did get fast lap of the race, so some consolation for him. But for a guy who's been close a couple of times and has a couple of medals, but not that shiny golden one, that's not enough, man. It hurts.
It really does. It's painful, but his leg's been in pain for the last couple of months, but Keith will come back. He realizes that he has the speed to win one of these gold medals, so hopefully we'll see him back next year, and it will happen.
Rennie's going to fire it up, and they've now given him the flag, and he'll put that helmet on and put the lap belt on, and then he will set out on one of the truly most honored of all traditions here at the Valvoline Runoffs, and that is the lap of honor as a national champion with the flag.
That's a special moment, but he is so lucky that David Hobbs isn't here, Greg, because David, with his eyesight, he normally calls the cars by colors. He'd had problems with that car today.
He would have probably been calling it Schumacher because of that Benetton-ish kind of look. And there's number 23. Well, I tell you, what a long day for Tom Nastasi. And as he's driving down into the pit lane here, he's probably thinking, oh, sure, it's running now.
Yeah, that's right. That is frustrating, not only for him but his crew as well. There was so much effort. They burned the midnight oil to be here, and then throughout the week, and then to have the car struggle, on the pre-grid and through the early laps. That's a tough break for that team.
Yep, perhaps one of the most fulfilling moments in a career here to win this and to win it through some adversity. But a guy who had a great drive is standing by with Brian Till.
Well, Dan Selznick certainly did have a great drive. The weather changed the whole weekend long. I know while we're here, we actually still have water in the lens of our camera, so if we soften up the focus on your face a little bit, we apologize for that. But I don't think you're going to care after the drive today.
No, not at all. It was a great drive. It was a lot of fun, slippery track. The great thing was we had dry conditions as opposed to what we had this morning, so that made it a lot more easy to run. But it was a tough race, and I'm really glad to be in the position I am.
How green was the racetrack after all the rain we had?
From my perspective, real green, but there were guys who were going faster than I was, so obviously I didn't pick up the pace as good.
Well, we know you had a great race, and certainly you had some help, Keith Lively falling out in front of you, but was your crew keeping you apprised of what was happening to Rennie Clayton's rear wing?
No, I had no idea that Rennie was in trouble, and if I would have been in a position to press him, I'm sure we could have put him in a worse position, but he drove a great race, and congratulations to him.
Well, I know that you've run in a couple of pro races and stuff like this, and this silver medal has got to give you more fire. It'd be nice to see you back running some pro stuff, too.
That's the plan for next season.
Well, keep an eye on this guy. He'll be back, and it's like you said, sometimes it's better that the crew doesn't tell you things. He was running the pace he was comfortable with, guys.
Yeah, well, sometimes too much information is not necessarily a good thing. For Rennie Clayton, he had all the information he needed, the feel of the car, look in the mirror, and that wing moving around. And I tell you, fearlessness, bravado, and obviously an awful lot of talent. Here is the full field rundown. There's Clayton, Selznick, Beasley with the bronze, then Wilcox, Muka, then Laniuski, Opperman, Koyman, Ash, and Yelkin. Those two teammates, by the way, and then rounding out the top 10, John Doyle, who I mentioned was a late entry in the event here. And there's Bill Goldkind having a good run, but Steve Ott, once again, running that car, and as Brian Till mentioned, not quite on the pace yet of the others, but nonetheless still. But let's go back and show you what was unquestionably, at least certainly in this race, one of the true moments. Roller coaster ride.
You notice the accent there. Look at that. Still on the gas. That's a racer for you. On the power hard.
Well, why lift? You're either going to go slow or you're going to brake or you're going to get back on the track. So he parked it. He found out he had a problem, and that was the end of the day for our onboard camera. But boy, he gave us some spectacular shots. Let's head back down to the pits. Third place, the bronze medal.
Well, we're used to seeing Ben Beasley stand down here. We're used to seeing this yellow car, but I can see the wheels on this one.
Yeah, it's a formula car. The sports racers we've had a lot of success with, and we just decided to try something a little more competitive and try our hand in the Atlantic class. And for first year, we're pretty happy. You know, we lost second and third gear out there, but the cars stayed together. The Cometic gasket, Redline Oil, Hoosier, Mazda Motorsports number 47 held in there good for me.
Notice you guys had a little bit of a gear problem?
Oh, yeah. About midway on, I just could not find second and third gear, and it just killed me.
You know, that'll always hurt you down these long straightaways at Mid-Ohio. You got to get out of the corners, guys.
Yeah, need a little launch. And there is Keith Lively. Look at the leg braced up. And I'm guessing, look at that face. He's feeling it. He's upset. But fast lap, and he knows that he probably could have done it. And I don't know how much consolation that is, but you got to take it. SpeedTV.com, online, all your motorsports information. For Calvin Fish, for Brian Tiller, John Bizignano, thanks for joining us here on Speed Channel. There is your Formula Atlantic National Champion.